While the Modern Warfare series is known for taking on a grittier approach to storytelling and visual narrative, sometimes when you take it a little bit slower, you can find some things that are either really funny or really cool. And Activision and Infinity Ward, along with Sledgehammer Games in Modern Warfare 3, have done a really great job at hiding some really cool Easter eggs along the way that really give you something extra to look for whenever you jump into the games. So today we wanted to take a look at the best Easter eggs from the Modern Warfare trilogy. That being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. In Call of Duty 4, there's actually some really cool Easter eggs you can activate by finding the various intel items throughout the campaign levels. You can activate things like a ragtime effect, making your game feel like an old-timey movie, or even something that activates your game into more of a noir type of look. During the second level of Call of Duty 4's campaign, when you're in the backseat of the car, you can actually see a spray painter spray paint a picture of Jason West, one of the members of Infinity Ward who actually created the early Modern Warfare games that we know and love. Of course, he was also one of the members of Infinity Ward to leave during Modern Warfare 3's development and start their own studio, so when Modern Warfare Remastered came out, this Easter egg was actually removed from the game completely. Also in Call of Duty 4 Remastered, there is a section where you can get an Easter egg by killing Makarov, who is in one of the cars on the sniper level. While he wasn't originally in the level in Call of Duty 4, they added him into Modern Warfare Remastered, and killing Makarov will actually give you an achievement referencing the fact that you prevented all of Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 from even happening. In Modern Warfare Reflex, the Wii port of Call of Duty 4, there's actually another Intel laptop that can give you a paintball mode where you shoot paintball guns instead of regular bullets. And finally, on the level showdown, if you go into spectate mode and fly outside of the map, you can see a random dancing chicken. Why it's there, we don't know, but it's kind of cool. In Modern Warfare 2, on the level Favela, there's actually a mirror that you can knife that will do damage to you. In the training section of the campaign level, when you're running through the pit, Robert Bowling, the Infinity Ward community manager at the time, is actually the person screaming at you in the background. In both Spec Ops and campaign, if you go to the bank next to the burger town in the city, you can see a picture of one of the game developers with a camel. This is actually an ongoing trend from all of the Modern Warfare games, where there's a ton of references to different members who worked on the games throughout everything that you get to experience, whether it's campaign, multiplayer, or maps. We've seen some really funny references to some of the members that we probably won't have time to dig into in detail, but they're still really cool nods to the people who made the games. On the level Terminal, the wall phone inside of Burger Town actually has COD 4 printed on it. We have Flight 1337, which goes to Tehran. There's also some teddy bears for sale, which is an ongoing Easter egg in the Modern Warfare trilogy, where they hide several teddy bears that look like this throughout many features of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare trilogy. For instance, on Estate Takedown, the Spec Ops mission, there's a teddy bear with a knife pinned to a wall, and on High Rise, if you make your way to the top of the building and find that little Easter egg section, there's a ton of teddy bears up there, along with a bunch of water bottles for all of those thirsty players who camp up there and snipe. On the level Skid Row, we get to see the very cool Game Station 5, the next cutting-edge console in the Modern Warfare universe. However, by the time Modern Warfare 3 came out, this console was upgraded to the Black Box 6. On the level Derail, we have a train that is numbered 1337, and some other trains say IW 2002, which is a reference to the date that Infinity Ward was founded. On the multiplayer level Estate, the car's license plates say 2009 IW4, which is a reference to the year that the game was released, along with the engine that Modern Warfare 2 was on, IW4. We also found some very interesting movie posters that are featured in the Modern Warfare 2 Estate, which actually leads us to see that there's a ton of fake movie posters throughout the Modern Warfare trilogy, which are kind of fun to see just because there's a lot of satire going into them. And also, while we were in Estate, we found this very odd looking pool floaty, which is also found in the Estate Takedown Spec Ops level as well. The Modern Warfare trilogy is also known for taking a ton of existing brands that are very popular in our culture and making their own version of these brands that exist in the Modern Warfare universe that are kind of a fun play on the brand. While Burger Town is an obvious example, did you know that there is a Taco To Go, which oddly sells the same burgers found in Burger Town? We wonder what type of conspiracy is going on here with these burger sales. And while there's other stores making references to TGI Fridays, logos that are obvious plays on NFL or MLG, in Modern Warfare 3, there's an entire store which is an obvious play on Apple stores, as this company is a German equivalent that has grapes as their logo. On the level Lockdown, there's a poster with Cthulhu on it, and on the level Village, if you look outside of the map by one of the spawns, you can actually see the hatch from the TV series Lost with the numbers that were famous from Lost printed on the hatch door, just like in the TV show. On the level Underground, in one of the little shops, you actually can see Apollo bars for sale, or a parody of it called Abalo bars, which is another Lost reference, as it's the candy that is used in a ton of the flashbacks and moments in the Lost series. And also on Village, you can find a Modern Warfare arcade machine. On the level Bootleg, there's a really cool massage parlor called Thailand Big Smile Massage. It's really cool that this game has a health and fitness spa that's open until 4 a.m. In the Spec Ops level where you run through the pit another time, when you reach the end of the pit, if you do not kill the boards and turn to the right, you can actually see a picture of General Shepard with a bunch of throwing knives in his picture. It's actually a pretty funny reference, you know, because in Modern Warfare 2 you hit him with that throwing knife. On the DLC level Boardwalk, there's actually a clothing store that has a ton of funny little references, but one of the cool ones is that they put an old dog meme there, which doesn't date this game in any way, but it's still kind of funny to look at. Also, if you go into the arcade or look around and see the posters throughout this level, you can see some posters for old retro games. These are actually references to some old Activision games that they had released back on the Atari 2600 way back in the day. The posters featured in the game are actually references to the game's Star Master, Pitfall, Kung Fu Master, and Robot Tank. Also in the multiplayer and campaign, there is a picture of a little girl on the wall that is holding a sledgehammer and carrying a teddy bear, which could either be just a simple reference to Sledgehammer games, as the letters suggest on the hammer, or it could be a nod to Treyarch and their zombie series, as Samantha is a girl that was featured on the level Moon and carries around a teddy bear when she's featured in the game. While there's no real confirmation as to what this is, it's still a cool Easter egg nonetheless. If you're playing on multiplayer and you look at the numbers at the stock exchange, you can actually see a couple more references hidden in there as well. We see abbreviations for Activision, Sledgehammer Games, and Blizzard all in this section, which is kind of funny to see because Sledgehammer Games were the people who developed a lot of the multiplayer that went into Modern Warfare 3. And finally, on the level docks in the new Modern Warfare game, which is set to release later on this year, during the Alpha 2v2 phase that recently rolled out, players discovered a small Easter egg down in the canal by the sewers that has a big red balloon floating in the sewer. Now you can pop this balloon, but this balloon likely is a reference to the movie It, which has part 2 coming out later on this year, and it's likely that this is just a funny reference that they decided to put on this level just because they could. And this makes us really optimistic for the future that Modern Warfare has now that it's finally being brought back, that maybe we will still have some cool Easter eggs hidden along the way that will give players an extra thing to look for whenever they jump into the game. But what did you guys think of these Easter eggs? Leave a comment down below and be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos videos like this. Also, be sure to follow Luke and I on Twitter at Rocket Elijah or at Rocket Sloth Luke, because we'd love to communicate with you guys, especially with all things gaming. We have strong opinions about the new Call of Duty games, the new Halo games, and the new Destiny expansions. So if you're interested in anything like that and you want to communicate with us more directly, check out our Twitters. That's it for today, guys, and we'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye, guys.